Hello, students. Good morning. Students, as we are studying chapter 4, that is heat. So, in first part of this chapter, we have studied about heat, hot and cold objects, the properties of hotness and coldness, then temperature and measurement of temperature by using clinical and laboratory thermometer, then precautions while using these thermometers. In that video, we have studied about temperature scales, in which we have studied about Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, and Kelvin scale and their interconversions. Now, students, in this video, we will study about transfer of heat, modes of transfer of heat, in which we'll study about conduction, convection, and radiation. In conduction, we will study about the process of conduction, then good and bad conductors of heat, then practical applications of good and bad conductors. After that, we will study about conduction of heat through liquids and air. And after that, we will study about these two processes, that is convection and radiation. So, students, first of all, we will study about transfer of heat. So as we have studied in previous video that heat is always transferred from the hotter substance or hotter object to the colder object. It means there should be difference in temperature between two objects, and always heat will be transferred from the hotter one to the colder one. It means when two substances they are at different temperatures, they are in close contact, then always heat will be transferred from the hotter object to the colder object. Means from the higher temperature object to the lower temperature object. When one end of an iron rod is held in the flame, then heat reaches to the other end in very short time, and after that whole rod become hot. Or we can say when a vessel of water is placed on fire, then all water in the vessel becomes hot after some time. Or the sun rays, they also reaches to the earth's surface, and earth's surface becomes hot. This is also transfer of heat. So all these processes involves a transfer of heat, and this transfer of heat takes place by three methods. So first of all, we will see, means we will understand the different modes of heat transfer by one activity, in which we will understand different modes of heat transfer. So for this, what we have to do, first of all, we will take one metal rod, and then we will dip it in a beaker containing water. Now we will keep this beaker on hot plate. So what will happen at first? First of all, the hot plate will start giving out heat into the surrounding air. So how will you know that hot plate is emitting or releasing heat energy? Because if you are near the hot plate, you will feel hot. It means it is releasing, hot plate is releasing heat energy. So the process of transfer by which hot plate is releasing heat energy in the surrounding, this process is called radiation. After that, water in the beaker moves there in the beaker only, and slowly whole water becomes hot. So sometimes you have seen in the container, if you are boiling the water, so there will be movement of water molecules. So by the movement of these water molecules, that whole water become hot. Actually what happens, the water molecule which are present at the bottom, that water molecule will get the heat energy from the flame, from the fire, and it will become hot. When water molecule will become hot, then it will be lighter in weight. So all of you know the lighter molecule will always start floating. So that lighter molecule will start rising up, and that place will become empty. Now the molecules which are present at the top of the water, these molecules are colder, they are still colder, and if they are colder, then they are heavier also. So all you have studied in 6th class that the heavier molecules will sink down. So when the lighter and hotter molecule will start rising up, the colder and heavier molecules will start sinking down. Now they will start sinking again, they will get an heat energy, they will absorb heat energy, and they will be hotter, and they will become lighter, and again they will be start rising up, and this process continues. So this process of transfer of heat is called convection. Now at last, heat moves along the rod where heat transfer takes place from heated end to the unheated end. So this is the process called conduction. In this way, we can say that there are three modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, convection, and radiation. Now, there are three modes of heat transfer, that is conduction, convection, and radiation. So first of all, we will study about the first process of heat transfer, that is conduction. So students, as first of all, I want to tell you that conduction is the process of heat transfer which requires medium, means any type of medium it requires to take place. Then conduction basically takes place, it takes place in solids, and it does not take place in liquids and air, but in liquids it takes place in mercury. Means in all liquids and air, conduction process does not takes place, means heat energy cannot be transferred through liquids and air. In liquids only, liquid mercury is a metal, liquid metal, so only mercury can conduct heat energy. And all solids, and in solids also the conductors can so after this topic you will study about good conductors and bad conductors, that you have studied in 6th class also. In both cases, in heat as well as in electricity, you have studied about good and bad conductors. So first of all, we will see what is conduction. So students, suppose when one end of an iron rod is held in the hand and other end is heated, so the end held in hand soon becomes warmer and warmer till we are unable to hold the rod. So when means why this process takes place, when suppose we are taking one iron rod in our hand and we are started heating one end of that iron rod in the flame or in the fire, after some time the next end which we are holding, that end will also become hot. So what is the reason behind this? Actually, when one end of the iron is heated, then the molecules which are present at that, and students, as all of you know about the structure of solid, liquid, and gas, we have studied in 6th class also. So we have studied there that the solid in the solid structures, the molecules or the atoms which are present in solid, they are very compactly arranged. Okay, it means there is no any space for the movement of these molecules, so they cannot move. That's why when we hold the iron rod and we will start heating that iron rod in the flame or in the fire, the end which is in direct contact with the flame, at that end the molecules or the atoms which are present there, they will start receiving, they will start absorbing heat energy from there. And when they will start getting heat energy, they will become active, they will become excited, and they will start vibrating. And they start their vibration very fastly. So when they start vibration, they transfer that heat that they have received, they have absorbed from the flame, they start transferring this heat energy to the neighboring molecules. And now neighboring molecules also start vibration, and by vibrating they transfer this heat energy to their neighboring molecules. So this process continues along the iron rod, and energy is transferred from the hot part to the cold part of the iron rod. So we can say that the process of transfer of energy from a hotter object to a colder object through direct contact is called conduction. Or we can say the transfer of heat energy between different parts of a body or from one body to another body which is in close contact. That process is called conduction. So conduction is a process of heat transfer in which heat energy is transferred from the hotter object to the colder object which are in close contact, or hotter part to the colder part. Now, students, there are two important conditions for heat energy to be conducted from the hotter body to the colder body. These two conditions are, first of all, these two bodies should be in close contact. When they will be in close contact, then only heat transfer will take place. And the second and most important condition is that the temperature should be different. Suppose if two objects are there, they are kept in close contact, but their temperatures are equal, their temperatures are same, then no heat transfer will take place. So this is very important. Always these two bodies, these two objects should be in close contact and their temperature should be different. Now, students, the process of conduction is very common in our daily life. So we will understand this process by one activity. So here we will see the process of conduction of heat through an iron rod. So students, for this we need small iron nails, wax, iron rod, clamp stands and Bunsen burner. So students, one important thing is there, you can see I have written Bunsen burner. Bunsen, and Bunsen, B is written in the capital letter because this Bunsen burner, this name is given after the name of its inventor, that is Robert Bunsen. Robert Bunsen was a German teacher. He invented that Bunsen burner in 1855, and in the honor of his name only, this burner is given the name as Bunsen burner. So, students, now let's see what is the procedure. First of all, first we will fix small nails with wax by using wax on iron rod at fixed particular distances, means there should be particular fixed distances from the iron nails. Then we will fix one end of the iron rod to the clamp stand. You can see the stand in the diagram. Then heat the other end of the rod with butter. Now we will observe the nails close to the heated end of the rod drop first, means the iron nail which is close to the heated end of the iron rod will drop first, and the nail at the last end drop at last. This shows that the conduction of heat from hot part to the cold part. This just like this, heat is transferred from two different objects kept in close contact by the process of conduction. So in this activity we have seen that the iron nail which is close to the heated end of the iron rod will drop first, means first of all that iron nails will start falling down, then after that process of heat transfer takes place slowly, and after that it reaches to the next end, and that end the iron nail which is present at the last end, which drops at the last. Now students, in this activity we will see that how rate of heat transfer by conduction process is different in different materials, means the process of conduction will not be same in all conductors, in all metals, or in all materials. The process of heat transfer by conduction process will not be same. So first what we will do, first of all we will take any two metals. Suppose we are taking iron and aluminum, then they both should be of same dimension, means their thickness and their length should be same. Now fix 5 iron nails on each rod with the help of wax. Now fix the iron and aluminum rod in the clamp stand and start heating both the rods with a Bunsen burner so that equal length of both rods should get the heat from flame, means heating should be equal in both the rods. After some time, you will observe that the nails which are fixed to the aluminum rod starts drop faster than the nails stuck to the iron rod. So students, both aluminum and iron are metal and they can conduct heat very well, but aluminum conduct heat faster as compared to the iron. So aluminum is the better conductor of heat than iron. It means all metals, it means from where it is very clear that all metals do not conduct heat at the same rate. Now students, we will see good and bad conductors of heat. So students, I just want to remind you that in 6th class, in the chapter where we have studied about properties of materials, and then in the chapter of electricity we have studied about good and bad conductors of uh, good and bad conductors. So the definition is same for both, for heat as well as for electricity. So here we will see good and bad conductors for heat, means what are the good conductors of heat and what is the bad conductor of heat. So students, good conductors of heat means the material which can conduct heat energy very well, obviously. So the substance or the object which allow heat energy to pass through them. To pass through them means the material or the object or the substance which allow heat energy to pass from one end to the other end. That materials or objects or substance are called good conductor of heat. Suppose we are taking one iron rod, and we are holding one end and other end we are keeping in the flame. Then after some time, obviously we will feel that the other end which we are holding, that end is also become hot. Why? Because that iron is good conductor of heat, means it allows heat energy to pass through it, to pass from one end to other end. That's why our hand feel hot, because first of all, that end which is in flame or fire, that end is getting heat energy, and that heat energy is transferred by the that iron rod to the next end, and then our hands feel hot. It means good conductor means the materials or the substances or the objects which allow heat energy to pass through them. Such materials are called good conductors of heat. So students, all metals, almost all metals are very good conductor of heat. In this, copper is very good conductor of heat. So in 6th class, I have taught you that silver is the best conductor for electricity, as well as copper also is the best conductor of electricity. We have also studied that why silver is not used and why copper is used in the wires. So students, here also all metals are but in the case of electricity, we have studied that some metals are so bad conductor of electricity, but here all metals are good conductor of electricity, good conductor of heat. Then after we will study about bad conductor of heat. So bad conductor means obviously the material that cannot conduct heat. So the object or the substance or the material which do not allow heat energy to move from one end to the other end, or to come from one into or to pass from one into the other end. So such substance or material is called bad conductor of heat. As suppose we are taking one rod which is made up of wood. Now hold the one end of the wood and keep that other end of the wood in the fire. Then you will see it will start burning, but that heat energy will not reach to the other end and you will not feel hot. Why? Because wood is a bad conductor of heat. So bad conductor of heat means the materials or the objects which do not allow heat energy to pass through them. So that materials are called bad conductor of heat. As for example, wood, leather, paper, plastic, etc. Okay. So students, now practical application of good conductor of heat. So I think you all are familiar from the first point, that is cooking vessel. Means I think all of you are familiar from this. You have visited to your kitchen, you have cooked something, so there you all have feel this thing. So what happen in cooking vessels and boilers? They are made up of copper or aluminium, and sometimes they are made up of iron also. So these metals are obviously they are good conductor. They can conduct heat easily. That's why your food cook faster. Then after, in next last video we have studied about mercury. Mercury is a liquid metal, okay, and it is very good conductor of heat. That's why it is used as thermometric liquid. Then cooking coils of refrigerator and air conditioner, they are also they are made up of copper, and it is a very good conductor of heat, so it readily conduct heat away. Then hot water radiator is also it is made up of copper, and so that heat energy from the hot water is quickly conducted away. So these are the practical applications of good conductors of heat. After that, we will see practical applications of bad conductor of heat. So students, this is the first application of bad conductor of heat. You all are very familiar from this point, because in 6th class we have studied about fibers. Then in 7th class, in 3rd chapter, we have studied about fibers. We have studied about wool and woolen clothes, and we all know that why we wear woolen clothes in winter. So as students, as we are knowing that air air is poor conductor of heat, okay, as plastic, paper, leather, wood, etc., they are poor conductor of heat. In the starting of the conduction topic, I have told you that all liquids, they are also, except mercury, they are also poor conductor, because they cannot conduct heat energy from through them. Then air is also bad conductor or poor conductor or insulator. So as we know that air is poor conductor of heat, so we wear woolen clothes in winter. That woolen clothes trap air in between their fiber, and being an insulator or bad conductor of heat, air does not allow heat energy to transfer, to get transferred from our body to the environment. That's why we wear that woolen clothes in winter, that keep us warm. Next, the cooking utensils. These cooking utensils are provided with the handles, and these handles are made up of plastic or wood. I think all of you have seen in your kitchen. If you used to go your kitchen, then you all have seen that in the handles of cooking pan, these handles are made up of plastic or wood. Suppose that plastic or wooden handles are not there, and they are made up of metal, then how problematic it will be when someone is holding that handles and cooking the food. Obviously, by the process of conduction, that handle will be hot and we will be unable to hold it. So this is also one application of bad conductors. Means this is the this is the use of bad conductor of heat, that the cooking utensils having the handles which are made up of plastic or wood, which prevent the heat reaching our hand. Next one is thermocol. Thermocol is also insulator, which is used an insulating material to maintain the temperature of substance in ice boxes. So ice boxes are generally made up of thermocol. Thermocol is insulator or bad conductor. So when we use this thermocol, then it prevent the outer heat energy to come inside, and ice will not melt. Then students, hot water storage tanks, where hot water is stored, and pipes are also lined with clothes or fiberglass or asbestos, etc., to prevent the heat loss through conduction. Then in winters, we use quilts. All we use quilts. So that quilts have cotton or polyfoam, which is in which air is present, and again the air trapped between the pores. That air provides us insulation, because air is bad conductor of heat. Then after, carpets laid on floor help in increasing insulation, as the material means it is made up of it may be wool or cotton, and the air trapped in between the fibers are poor conductor of heat. Then double pane windows act as insulators, means that insulators are there which trap the layer of air between two sheets of glass. Then after, birds puff of their feathers in winters to trap large amount of air, which act as an insulator. So these are the practical application of bad conductors of heat. Then students, as we know that liquids cannot conduct liquids cannot conduct heat except mercury. That's why mercury is used as thermometric liquid. But we will understand this by an activity. So first we have to do what we have to do. First we have to take water. Then we will take test tube, copper wire, then ice cube, Bunsen burner, and test tube holder. Okay. So first, what we will do, we will take water. We will fill water in test tube. Then take small ice cube and wrap the piece of copper wire around the ice cube. Okay. Because all you know that when directly you will put ice on water, then it will start floating. So what we will do, we'll take copper wire, we will wrap the copper wire around the ice, then we will put that ice into the water so that it will sink at the bottom of the test tube. Now hold the test tube with test tube holder. Then what we will do, we will heat that test tube, means the liquid which is present at the test tube, we will heat it by using Bunsen burner. After some time, you will notice that water which is present at the top part of the boiling tube, it will start boiling. Okay. But ice which is present at the bottom of the test tube, which is also in direct contact with the flame, it will not melt and it will remain as such. Why? Because heat could not be conducted from the top layer of the to the bottom layer. Means suppose water is present, and in whole water, means in the test tube water we have filled at the bottom, your ice is there which is in the copper which is in the copper wire. So when we have started heating the water, heat could not be transferred through the water, and that's why that heat could not reach to the top to the bottom. And then that's it, that is why your ice which is present in the copper wire, it will not melt. So it proves that liquid is a bad conductor of heat. Then we will see conduction of heat through air. So this is also, we know that air is a bad conductor of heat, but we have to understand it by one activity. So in this activity, we will understand that the conduction of heat through air. So what we will do, first we'll take a test tube and then put a piece of wax in it. Then fix a cork in the mouth of the test tube. Cork, I think all of you are knowing cork. I have shown you cork in the laboratory. So cork we will fix in the mouth of the test tube. Then we will fix the test tube to the clamp stand, and now we will heat the test tube near its mouth. Okay. After some time, the cork which is fixed in the mouth of the test tube, it blows off. It is because the pressure exerted by the hot air, means the air which is present near the mouth of the test tube, it will be hot and it will exert pressure. So that just because of that pressure which is exerted by hot air, the cork which is fixed in the mouth of the test tube, it blows off. But one more thing we will see, the wax which is present at the bottom of the test tube, it does not melt. Why it does not melt? Because heat from the top layer of air does not reach to the bottom of the tube. means the air which is present at the top layer of the water, just because of that hot air are cork blown off, that hot air will not come to the bottom of the water. It means air is a bad conductor of heat. It does not conduct heat from top layer to the bottom layer of the water. It means that air is also a bad conductor of heat. So student, in this video we have discussed about everything about conduction. What is conduction, then uh, what are the good and bad conductors, then what are the practical applications of bad and good conductors, then conduction of heat through liquids and air, in which we have seen that good conductors, almost all metals, they are good conductor of heat, so they can conduct heat. But liquids, in liquids only mercury, because mercury is a liquid metal. So these all that solid metals and liquid metal, that is mercury, it can conduct heat. Rest all liquids and air cannot conduct heat energy by conduction. Means they can conduct heat energy. That heat energy, that process or that steps or modes we will study in our next video. So that modes are convection and radiation, that we will study in next video. So by the process of conduction, means liquids and air they both are unable to conduct heat energy by the process of conduction. So always keep this thing in your mind, that in solids only and one liquid, that is mercury, conduction process can takes place. Okay, then we will start convection and radiation in our next video. Okay students, then was the video, and please note the important points. If you are having any problem, then please read your book and then watch the video, and please try to find out the questions, the answers of exercises as fill in the blanks and MCQ questions and true false measure followings are there. So try to find out again and again, read the book and watch the video, that will help you. And the next part we will see in next video. Okay students, thank you.